We have made it all the way to February. We've gone through December, we've gone through January, we've also done the January transfer window, which wasn't too exciting if I'm honest, but we'll get to it in just a moment. And we are currently 4th place in the league. That's not really the whole story, however, because basically we've not done particularly well, but I think the teams above us and below us haven't done well either somehow. So we did actually quite well, I think, in December. So we drew with Liverpool, beat Forest, beat Leicester, beat Southampton, beat Everton, beat Man United, but then lost against Spurs on the 29th of December. We also got knocked out of the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup by Arsenal. And then January rolled around, started off well, 4-1 win, and then 3 defeats in a row. Sorry, not 3 in a row, 2 in a row against Palace and Man United, and then getting back to winning ways against Fulham. And then we've also managed to get through the Europa League phase as well. But let's get to that in a minute. I don't know how we're still 4th, if I'm honest. I've got no idea. But I assume teams above us and below us also keep losing games. I think surely that's it. Liverpool seem to draw a lot, which might be their downfall. Spurs, 7 defeats, which is the same as us. We just don't draw. We win or we lose. That's kind of it. Transfer deadline day, we were quite busy, in fact. We did bring in 2 new players to the club, both of them on loan deals with options to buy that we are not going to trigger because they're ridiculous. Jeremy Doku is the first one, signing from Man City. Hasn't really played in this, but I think he'll give us an option on that left-hand side and right-hand side, and maybe even up front. If we have a look, the optional future fee is £85 million. It's not happening. Similarly, we have also loaned in Cesare, is that how you say it? Cesare Casadei from Chelsea. Spent last season on loan at Leicester. Played once, I think, so far this season for Chelsea, coming off the bench, but they weren't playing him. He's come in as a squad player. He's getting paid absolutely nothing. I think he's very good. And we've got an optional future fee of £80 million there. Also, not likely to happen. He would be willing to join. The reason why we brought in Casadei in particular is because we've sold a fair few central midfielders. We're going to go through the players now. Obviously, Timothy Fosu-Mensah is not a central midfielder. He has left. He has gone to Al Qadsiya, who are obviously a Saudi Arabian side. £7 million for this one. David Turnbull has moved over to the Middle East, but he's actually gone to Qatar for £10 million to Al Duhail. Alex Král has joined Timothy Fosu-Mensah in the not playing for Aston Villa and then signing for a club in Saudi Arabia. In fact, the same team. He's gone on loan, but he will be joining on a permanent deal at the end of the season. Diego Carlos, who was not playing for us this season, he has gone out on loan to Real Hispalis, which is Real Betis. There is an option, which I feel like they're not going to trigger. It's £39 million. If they trigger that, we're laughing. And finally, Carlos Alcaraz has also left the club on a loan deal going to Sheffield United. Not for any future fee or anything like that. I just needed to get him some game time. Playing in the Championship, I think he'll do a decent job there. Probably shouldn't have bought him in the first season, but, you know, I kind of got excited and I wanted to buy a Southampton player, so we bought Alcaraz. And that's pretty much it. We've kind of loaned out a whole load of players as well. Jadel Katongo's gone out on loan. Zich has extended his loan deal at Bristol Rovers. Lutz has gone out on loan. Colby Moore's actually left on a permanent deal. Simpson, Jern, Ratnick, and Tristan Rowe has left on a permanent deal. Ratnick going to Luton actually is going to be quite good for him because they're playing in the Premier League. He needs Premier League matches to get a work permit. This might tick enough boxes for him to get a work permit at the end of the year. And before we go too much further, Scott McTominay was supposed to leave, which is why we brought in Casadei. He didn't leave. He was supposed to, I think he was supposed to go to Saudi Arabia. No, it wasn't Saudi Arabia. It was actually, I think it was Leeds wanted him on loan with an option to buy. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, go for it. He just didn't want to go to Leeds for some reason. So yeah, Scott McTominay's still here. It does mean that at the end of January, this is what our squad looks like. We've got 2 goalkeepers. We've got 2 fullbacks in Harwood Bellis and Goldson. Technically 3 in Bateman. Central defence, we are looking a bit light now, but Harwood Bellis and Goldson can play there. So we've technically got 5 centre-backs, which I'm pretty happy with. On the left, we've got Ait Nouri and Luca Dean. In midfield, we've got Douglas Luiz, McTominay, Casadei. We've got Kamara. We've got Finn Azaz, who's rubbish. Get him in the reserves. Get out of my squad. I don't need you. Sanket is there. We've got Ramsey as well, who realistically plays as a winger most of the time. But because we've got Doku, he should now probably be more of a central midfielder. We've also got John McGinn. We've got on the wings, we've got, moving back up the list, we've got Rooney. We've also got Leon Bailey. We've got Jeremy Doku. And we've got Diaby on the wings. We've got Luka Jovic, who was supposed to leave as well, on loan to Southampton or Bournemouth. And it didn't happen at all. Just did not go through for some reason. And we've got, obviously, up front then, Jovic. We've got Kellyman's return from his loan spell. Wilson and Girassi. So I think we've got a decent squad now. Some players Maybe not as good as some of the others, but they're there, thereabouts, so I'm quite happy. And just like that, we jump into the first match of 2 for this episode. It's going to be Bournemouth away from home to kick things off. It's going to be Casteels in goal. I genuinely prefer Casteels to Martinez, and I said to myself, if a bid came in for Martinez over the summer, or in January, sorry, I probably would have accepted it. Nobody wanted him, but, you know, Casteels is kind of our number 1 at the moment. Howard Bellis, Boyomo, Mings and Aitnori in defence for this. Kamara, McGinn and Cassidy making his debut in midfield. Bargi, Doku and Callum Wilson will be our front 3 for this. Obviously, Doku getting his debut as well. You might be wondering where some players are. Girassi, not quite fully match fit. Sanket, same. Diaby, the same. And then Douglas Luiz, even more so, not match fit. So that's why he's not even in the squad. So today, in this episode, we're going to be playing 20th place and 1st place in the table. If we beat Bournemouth, we are not going to move anywhere in the table because I think I can't remember, it's one of the 3 teams obviously ahead of us because we're 4th, but I think there's too big a gap, yeah. So if we win, we'll go on to 50 points, which will not be enough to catch Man United, but it will kind of close the gap. We are in this weird sort of middle ground where we're not quite good enough to catch the top 3, but we are slightly ahead of the rest of the table. 15 minutes played already, no highlights to talk about, but it's looking like Bournemouth might be dominating, which is not good. 56% possession, they've had a couple of shots, we've had one as well. This has not been a very entertaining match. There has been so little going on. We've had another shot, it was on target, was not highlight worthy, and it's going to be 0-0 at half time without a single highlight to talk about. What a great thing to have in a YouTube video. We're going straight into the second half. Callum Wilson's on a 6.5. Maybe we do this. Maybe. You are a pressing forward on attack. Do we go advance forward? Do we change that up? Is that going to make a difference? Literally no highlights. Nothing at all. Right, Casaday's going to drop back to be the defensive midfielder. We're going to do Sanket coming on for Kamara. Wilson's going to come off for Girassi. Bargi's going to come off for Diaby. I think, do we want to swap you 2 round? Doesn't really matter, does it? Let's put Doku on the left, actually. Sure, let's go that way round. I said Doku on the left, I mean on the right. It's taken 72 minutes, and we finally got a highlight in the Bournemouth versus Aston Villa game. Zabani with the ball, plays it forward to Kluivert. Diaby nicks it though. McGinn, Aitnori on the left-hand side, towards the substitute Diaby. Can he get his cross in on the ground to Sanket? It's towards Girassi, and Serhu Girassi gets his 12th goal of the season. He has started to get a little bit better. He had a little bit of a dry spell throughout October, November and a bit of December, but he's starting to get the goals again. That is his 12th goal of the season. He is our top goal scorer. We take the lead, and we've immediately got another highlight straight after the goal, and we've got the ball because I assume Lewis Cook couldn't pass very well. Diaby's going down that left-hand side. Is he going to cross? Nope, plays it on the ground. Cassidy plays it back to Diaby. 2 in the box. Sanket's one of them. Goes for goal. Neto makes a very good save. Corner then. We are going to see it. It's going to be Diaby the man to take it. It's that Girassi, number 17, just lurking in front of the goalkeeper. Towards McGinn, Neto comes out, easily claims that one. That wasn't a highlight. I don't know why they do those highlights, because it's not a key highlight. No one's headed the ball, nothing's happened. Right, time for a change. Doku's going to come off for Leon Bailey. Do we want to do Cassidy as well? I think we do. Pau Torres is going to come on. Can you play that role? You can kind of play that role. So the 2 debuts then, I don't think they've done particularly well, but considering this is like 2 days after transfer deadline day, they've only been in the club for 2 days. So you kind of got to let them off a little bit. Well, it's a win. I wouldn't say it's convincing, but it's a win. It's 3 more points. So that was a Sunday night fixture where we obviously picked up the 3 points. It does mean we stay in 4th place, 1 point behind Man United, 2 points behind Chelsea, 6 points behind Man City, who we will be playing in just a minute, but we are also 4 points clear of Newcastle. So I think all in all, we're doing pretty good, right? We're doing pretty good. We've kind of been floating between 4th and 7th for quite a while. We have just dipped our toe into 3rd place, mainly because we beat Man United, I think. It's the day of the Man City game, and we are the afternoon kickoff, not the evening kickoff, or not the normal. Why are there 4 different kickoff times? Anyway, doesn't matter. What I'm here to say is Manchester United lost against Liverpool, which means if we beat Man City, which is a very big if, we will move up to 3rd place in the table. We'll be on 53 points. It will be 3 points behind Manchester City, who will still be top of the table. That's mad, right? That is absolutely mad. Obviously, there's still a fair few games to go in this season, but the fact that we could be cementing ourselves into a Champions League spot in February is insane, right? The starting lineup then for the Manchester City game. We have done some tweaks. Actually, this is also a tweak I need to do. Casteels in goal. Galton, Boyomo, Torres and Luke Dean in defence. Douglas, Luiz, Kamara and Sanket in midfield. Diaby, Ramsey and Girassi leading the lines. We've done 2 changes. We are playing Girassi as a complete forward on attack. We're playing Luke Dean as a complete wing-back on support. Partially because Ait Nouri's also very good as a complete wing-back. And kind of the role that he plays means he'll slot into this space. Which means, given that option, he can go way, way up the pitch, and it shouldn't be a problem because Galton should move across. That's my thinking. Probably not how it works, but that's my thinking. I've just seen that Tyrone Mings, because he's not starting this match, it means we don't have our club captain, and we also don't have our vice-captain in Emi Martinez. It means Connor Galton's been automatically put as the captain for the Man City game. I don't know why Connor Galton's kind of become a talisman for me, but he has. Obviously, we're at home for this match, which is a good sign, although I haven't noticed whether we are better at home or away, or kind of indifferent. Man City are actually not massively consistent. A win, draw, win, draw, win, which means this one's a draw, right? Let's hope this is at least more entertaining than the Bournemouth game. Obviously, we picked up the 3 points, but we got nothing. 8 minutes on the clock, and we've got the ball in a good position. Connor Goldson to Douglas Luiz. Plays it on the ground to Ramsey. His touch is not the best. It's fallen to Sanket, though. Across to Ramsey again. Rodrigo with a slide. Luiz to Sanket. Takes a touch. Goes for goal. And Oyhan Sanket has made it 1-0 against Manchester City. Don't know whether that's how you say his name at all. First name or last name. We have taken the lead. And that was a good goal. Considering that had a 0.08 XG and he managed to score it, that's pretty impressive. Luka Dean to Sanket to Kamara, plays it back. Torres is going to go for a run. It's worrying that we've got Torres going for that run. The ball's cleared upfield. Boyomo is going to collect this. Down the line to Dean, please. Where we want to go? There we are. Luka Dean to Torres again. Ball on the ground. Sanket, the goal scorer. On the ground finds Diaby. Gerassi's trying to break past the last defenders. Crosses it in. It's fallen for Sanket and Sanket's just scored a second. 14 minutes on the clock. Sanket has his second of the match. What is going on? Are we all of a sudden proving that we are top 4 quality? Is that what's happening now? It's a free kick. It's going to be De Bruyne to take it. 21 minutes. Kevin then steps up, hits the wall. It's gone off for a corner. Bernardo Silva's gone over to take the corner. Can we get this one clear? It's towards Gvardiol. Loads and loads of space into the bottom corner. His first goal of the season. That was training ground stuff. I'm going to blame Austin McPhee, who is our set-piece coach, because he should be dealing with that. Straight into another highlight, though. Sanket to Girassi. He's put the ball away. I think Girassi was offside, so it's not going to count. But that's good. That was a good finish. I'm happy with it. Is it going to count? We're not getting VAR. Are we getting... Was he onside? There is no way he's onside. Unless... Who's that? Is that Zinchenko? It's Theo Hernandez. Okay, we're 3-1 up. I swear he was miles off. I like the way I assumed that was Zinchenko because he had blonde hair. Doesn't even play for Man City. We have had 3 shots on target and scored 3 goals. I do not know what's going on, but we are looking pretty good. Let's get another one, lads. Just before half-time, Luke Dean with a corner. Whips it towards Kamara. It's actually Erling Haaland who gets it clear. Not far enough, though. Diaby goes for goal. Gvardiol heads it off to the left. Luke Dean's going to collect it, though. Loses out to Coyote. Or maybe he doesn't. Towards Ramsey. Get the ball in. Douglas Luiz goes for a long-range effort and almost finds the bottom corner. Goes wide. It is going to be 3-1 to Aston Villa at half-time. Or maybe it could be 4. Could be 4. Still a chance. Dougie Luiz on the ground to Sanket. On a hat-trick, remember. Ramsey goes for a run. There are so many Villa shirts in the box. Gerassi's not going to get there. Luka Dean keeps this one alive. Ramsey chests it down. Plays it into the bottom corner. Gerassi can't quite get there. The ball is cleared. We are looking like a ridiculously good side. What I've done to the tactic changes, I'm assuming, has meant that we're amazing. We're the best team in the world. We're obviously not going to do any changes at half-time because this is mad. Sanket's on a 9.5, 2 goals and an assist to his name. We've obviously got Girassi on a 7.5. Douglas Luiz is playing well. Boyomo and Torres both on 7.0 ratings in central defence. We are just looking good. Admittedly, Edison, Kole and Diaz and Neves and De Bruyne and Haaland not playing very well. But I don't care because we are playing ridiculously well. Bernardo Silva with the ball. Obviously, City are good enough to just kind of turn this game around immediately, aren't they? Coyote down the right-hand side, a player that I wanted to sign in Season 1, and obviously he's very good if he's gone to Man City. Erling Haaland scored his 3-2. Has he scored? Hold on, we're getting some VAR. Haaland's just picked the ball up and ran off with it, so he assumes that it's going to count. It has counted. Right, the comeback's clearly on for Man City, so I suspect we aren't going to win this game, but the fact that we've scored 3 goals in the first half against Man City, it's pleased me. I would love for us to be able to hold on, maybe get a 4th would be nice. Douglas Luiz with the ball, gets some space for himself, goes for a long-range effort, not the best, over the bar. It's going to be 3-2 still, however. We've done absolutely no subs, and we're 80 minutes in. Right, let's do a bunch of changes. We're going to do Rooney coming on the right-hand side. These are fitness, not performance-related. Jurassi's coming off for Callum Wilson. It's a weird thing to want to do, but we're going to go for it. Sanke, I don't want to bring you off, mate. You're playing superbly well. Luca Dean's going to come off for Ait-Nouri. Think that's all we're going to do for now. We can do 2 more stoppages, which means we are going to time waste like there is no tomorrow, I think. Coyote with a throw. Erling Haaland has acres of space because we're playing a complete wing-back, and Bernardo Silva's made it 3-3. I did say that City were due a draw. I wasn't hoping for one, just to put that out there. I was hoping that we'd hold on, but apparently not. Right, we're going to do a couple more changes. John McGinn is going to come on. We are probably going to do the final change maybe on 90 minutes, which is about... There's 6 minutes of injury time. What's going on? Right, here comes the final change. Sanket then is coming off. Cassidy is going to come on as that Mazzala. And a 3-3 draw on paper doesn't sound bad. However, when you realise how good we were in the first half, that's frustrating. That is absolutely frustrating. The second half we were good as well. Castiles gets a 6.4. After all that talk of me saying that I prefer Castiles to Martinez, Castiles might have cost us 2 points there. But I guess the good news when you look at the league table is we are still in 4th place. We are 3 points clear of Liverpool. We are 5 points clear of Newcastle. And we are, 7 points clear of Tottenham. Things are looking good. We are still in a very, very good position. I think because the way this league is panning out, we're not going to focus on the Europa League at the moment, which means next episode we might be doing Brentford and Liverpool. Because I feel like Leicester should be a win, Southampton should be a win, Everton should be a win, Forest should be a win. That one maybe I'm not so sure about. And then Brentford, 10th place, Liverpool in 6th place. We've got a relatively tough end to the season with Arsenal, with Brighton. Luton are down in 19th, Newcastle in 5th, Chelsea obviously 2nd place. That match, I hope, means absolutely nothing once we get to it, because I don't think we're going to win that one at Stamford Bridge. We're going to finish this episode off talking about money very, very briefly because we are 50 million in debt. However, we do have £25 million in our transfer budget. And we did have a rumour, fairly recently as well, that our Egyptian owner was considering selling the club to a tycoon. Nothing's come of it, but there was one news article that came out that said that we're considering selling the club, and it's a tycoon that wants to basically buy Aston Villa, which would mean a lot of money. If that happens, we might end up doing a Season 3 of this save. If it doesn't happen, we may end up just at the end of this year, possibly just getting into the Champions League, which will be nice.